From a neuroscientific standpoint, our brain is always looking to conserve energy. It prefers routines that are straightforward and effortless. We are a lazy bunch, the humankind, and this is why ready-to-drink format is so pivotal. No mixing, no prep, just it's a simple integration, effortless integration into the daily routine.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of the Nutricosmetics 2030 show. I'm your host, Matic Batagelj, the marketing advisor at TOSLA Nutricosmetics.
And I'm the other host, Uroš Gotar, Chief Innovation Officer at TOSLA Nutricosmetics.
Uroš, welcome back. And today I have planned a special, like a beauty of a topic for us. We're going to dive deep into the realm of habits. But first, how is the day treating you?
Hi, Matic. We're pushing it hard in the lab lately, so I feel a bit tired, to be honest. But otherwise, I'm very happy to be back here. Love the topic, by the way. I like to go deeper into understanding the human brain and its nuances and just learn how it can help us to design better products.
When I've been listening to you in the past, talking about this product design and product development, I have to be honest that sometimes it really didn't make sense to me. But then you made me read this book from James Clear called Atomic Habits. And things, they really started to connect for me way better. James Clear, he has this model of this four laws of habit building. The make it obvious, the make it attractive, the make it easy, and the make it satisfying, right? And this really made me understand how a product can basically integrate into this habit building. And I also started to understand this very high customer retention that we experience with the products that we create, especially collagen formulations. And interestingly enough, as we said in the previous episode, the commercially most successful products are actually not the ones who are like super high in specs or like very high like in collagen concentration and stuff, but actually the ones that are the most balanced. And I guess that's like the reason for this long-term use, right?
Exactly. This is where the idea of efficacy through consistency really comes from, actually. It really is about designing a product that will ensure long-term use and bring those results that you really want. With a beauty routine or anti-aging, if you will, it's the same as with losing weight. It's not about how fast you can lose weight or lose the wrinkles. It's about how you can sustain this new look or new identity over time.
I mean, definitely. And this conversation about balanced formulations, the balance between concentration and taste and so on, and things that we talked about in the first episode, actually, well, now it really makes a lot more sense when you put them in this context. Okay, so shall we get a little deeper into it? I suggest that we maybe follow the model of James Clear, the 4 laws, and we really see how it applies to supplements and to products, and really try to put it in this context. So let's start with the first law. The make it obvious. And we all understand the value of making things obvious if you want to build a habit, because it's like setting the stage. So in the realm of beauty and wellness, how crucial is this first step, Uroš?
That part of being obvious, it's really not so obvious at first glance, if you don't mind me being ironic. But if you really think about it, it's actually fundamental. The neural pathways in our brain are shaped by cues. For instance, studies have shown that consistent visual reminders can boost the chances of habit formation by nearly 42%. So when you see your bottle supplement every morning, for example, in the fridge, it's not as it is. It's not just an object, but it's also a signal to your brain.
That's so true. And like after reading the book, I tried it to apply this lessons from the book. And what really helped me, for instance, I really struggle. Like, you know, you have this like a thing, drink a big glass of water every morning.
Yeah.
And I forgot to do it. But then I really started to put like this big glass of water, not with water, but just the big glass, like just next to the sink. So it was really the first thing that I saw when I came into the kitchen, and believe me, like my hydration had been like way better since then.
Right, and it's the same with the fridge, right? Like we say, our products, they have to be stored in the fridge once they opened, but actually, through stability study, we found out that even if you store them at room temperature, you would still be able to use them, like they would not go bad. But for the purpose of habit forming, we want to put them in the fridge. So it's like the first thing you see in the morning, you have it in the fridge. It's signal to your brain really at this point.
Yeah, and keeping it, like saying keep it in the fridge, is also way more elegant than like keep in the same place always, like on the bottle.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so to be able to build and also keep a good habit, the thing you need to do, basically, you need to make it obvious. But what about the next law, according to James Clear, the make it attractive? How can you make a supplement attractive? Because here I'm mixing it with the last law, which is like the make it satisfying, which I connect more with this like instant joy of having something nice. Is the attractiveness more about the promise and the actual results? Because I see this as a tricky one, especially in our industry, because there are countless products with really a lot of promises. And that's, I guess, also where the clinical trials come in and all of that. Maybe a bit of a confusing question.
Well, absolutely. Clinical studies are, they offer empirical evidence, right? So it's not just about marketing, it's about trustworthiness. So promises, indeed, they draw attention, but at the end, results build trust. Actually, our brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter, associated with reward and pleasure when we achieve a goal, or, for example, when we see tangible benefits. So that's why it's so important that products deliver the results. But those results, as good as they are, they're just simply not enough to build a lasting habit of taking the supplement every morning. It's not enough because the result, and with it the dopamine spike, comes too late. Because see, when a habit is forming, there is this dopamine-driven feedback loop that plays a major role in it. Of course, dopamine isn't the only chemical that plays a role. It's just an overgeneralization. But the dopamine loop is a good way to start understanding what's going on here. So before a habit is learned, dopamine is released when a reward is experienced for the first time. But the next time around, the dopamine rises before taking action, immediately after the cue is recognized. So the dopamine spike basically leads to feeling of desire and craving to take action whenever this cue is spotted, you know?
Okay, so yeah, if I understand correctly, if we have to wait for results for, let's say, a month or two of, like, let's say, a regular use of a product, this motive is usually not enough to spike the craving after just seeing an obvious cue, like see a product on a shelf, right?
Exactly. So in terms of creating this craving of taking the supplement, we need to rely on other things as well. We need to make it a pleasurable experience. And the easy way to do that here is to create something that tastes so good or even better, to create something with a so-called dynamic contrast. Kind of like something that you have crunchy and soft at the same time. Of course, this is hard to do with liquids, but we can play a bit with the taste. I don't want to go too much into to detail with this, because it's kind of still a secret, but it's a project that we currently have in the TOSLA lab.
Oh, nice. I mean, as I understand this dynamic contrast, could you achieve something like that in the form of a gummy? Like, let's say you have a gummy like supplement, and let's say it's like a little bit like harder on the outside and something soft on the inside. Would this be like a dynamic contrast?
It would in this case, but if you put it into our context, we make collagen supplements or other nutricosmetic products. You have these obstacles of gummy being too small in volume, so you cannot put an effective dosage of collagen, for instance, in a gummy. That's the problem here.
Okay, so yeah, as I understand it, it has to make you crave it, but in the end, it has to deliver too. So if it doesn't deliver, like I guess here it's really like a fine balance here, like between like the taste, let's say, and then the delivery. So it's both of it.
Yeah, of course, if it wouldn't deliver, then we wouldn't have this connected loop that we talked about earlier. But if you would crave it, but then at the end you would be like meh, and you wouldn't get the spike and you wouldn't crave it anymore.
Okay, so here we're touching on the last law, the make it satisfying law, right?
We are, but there's another one before that, actually. See, even if something is obvious and attractive, if it's a chore, people just tend to stray.
Of course, this brings us to the make it easy part, right?
Exactly. From a neuroscientific standpoint, our brain is always looking to conserve energy. It prefers routines that are straightforward and effortless. We are a lazy bunch, the humankind, and this is why ready-to-drink format is so pivotal. No mixing, no prep, just it's a simple integration, effortless integration into the daily routine.
Yeah, I mean, ease of use is something, I think, something that people really underestimate. In our this world is like fast paced. You don't have the time. Like, if something takes too much time, it's often just gets sidelined. You just won't do it anymore. And but how do we ensure like our products don't face that fate?
Well, in principle, it's very simple. You just have to reduce friction. Our brain naturally gravitates towards tasks that are really easy to complete. So this is why our liquid format is not just about efficacy, but also about convenience. It's about fitting seamlessly into one's day. So if you think about it, no mixing, no prepping, just a quick shot and you're already nourished.
Okay, so effortless and efficient. But this brings us to the biggest challenge. I mean, we touched on it with the second law already, but now we have to get to this last part, the instant satisfaction. It's not only we're looking for a path of least resistance, but we're also incredibly impatient as people. So a bit like we want it all, and we want it now, right?
Yeah, exactly. The thing is here that if we really want to lock in a new habit, we need to get this satisfaction at the end of it. And the thing here is that it really needs to be instant. The less wrinkles after 2 months is satisfying and cool and all that, but far from being instant. So again, we have to rely on this pleasant and satisfying experience.
Okay, so we're back at the taste, at the dynamic contrast, and things like that, right? But here's the challenge. We've been talking about this like a lot. Like, in our products and Nutricosmetics in general, like we often use the ingredients that like really taste not so good, right? They're like pretty awful.
Yes. So one approach to that would be to just put the thing you want your supplement to contain in a pill or in a tablet. But this is nor attractive nor it is satisfying. So I think that you will just drop this routine as soon as you can. I suppose you could use gummies, which covers both, but again, you will have problems with potency. So I believe that liquid, especially for the kind of products we do, working a lot with collagen, MSM, and others, it's the best format to deliver what you need in a small dose. But if you want habitual intake, which we proved is the best through our clinical studies, then you need to make it pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I guess this is like where science and technology comes back in, right?
Yeah, that's why we developed Vilius, our masking technology, or better said, flavor technology, as we're expanding beyond just covering the bad taste of the ingredients. So we use it to mask those not so great tastes without adding sugar. And now we are playing with AI, artificial intelligence. So we will be able to tailor flavors to specific preferences, like, for example, to a preference of certain geographical area or certain age of people.
So to really make it targeted and like ultimately like satisfying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I guess now we got to the end of the loop, right? With the make it satisfying part. But before we wrap up, I would actually like to touch on a little bit of a bigger picture here, because habits, I guess, are not just important from the standpoint of customers getting results. They also ripple out into our business or like the brand's business model, right? Especially customer retention, right?
Correct. You can easily, how should I say, translate this to business. We were talking about habits and consumers and all of that, but yeah, retention is the heartbeat of the thriving business, right? So a product that is designed for habitual use is not just beneficial for the users, but also ensures sustained business growth. So by weaving our products into the daily lives of our users, we're not just selling a product, we're becoming a part of their story. So this idea of one shot every morning actually works both ways. It works for the customers and works for businesses as well.
And that's, I believe, a good note to end on. So thank you, Uroš, for this very informative episode. And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this insightful episode on Into Habits. I certainly learned a lot in this episode. I hope the same goes for everyone. So thank you, Uroš, and we see you in the next one.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.